Hello Stampers, Michelle Zindorf here. I've got a pretty little card for you today. In this one I'm going to be using the plastic wrap technique for the background to create this kind of bubbling up brook that this butterfly is playing in. So I just love this image, and it's from the Spotlight on Nature's Stampin' Up set. Cute, right? Very pretty. So we're going to be using that butterfly, and I'm going to walk you through this background first, and I have all the dimensions for the card. Down below this video, just click more under the description and you'll see it all listed there, along with the product links that'll take you directly to my online store where you can shop with me 24/7. So let's get started here. So I have a piece of cardstock here, and it's 3 by 3.5. We're going to be using this landscape, not portrait. So it's going to be wider than it is longer. So we're going to start with our first color, which is Crushed Curry. And we're going to start with our piece of plastic wrap here. I just wadded mine up. So here's just a piece of plastic wrap. Cling wrap, a lot of people call it, but we're going to wad it up into a little ball here. And then we're going to use it to put our color on. And we're going to use it like a sponge. So we're going to dab in our ink and then pounce it on our cardstock here. And I'm not trying to color the whole thing. I'm leaving some white areas in there. You can see them. That's the beauty of this technique, is leaving some of that white showing. So we have our crushed curry in there. So we're going to go to another color. And our next color is going to be a little bit Azure Afternoon. So when I change colors, I just unwad my paper. I'm going to unwad my plastic wrap, ball it back up, and that way I don't get a flat side too, because you don't want it to be flat. You want lots of texture on this. So Azure Afternoon, we're going to go ahead and put in here. And I'm going up just a little bit into that crushed curry. And there we have that. Okay, next color. This is all about layering colors, which is a lot of fun. So we're going to do some crumb cake here. I'm going to unwad this. And then wad it back up. Then we have our crumb cake, and I'm going to add some crumb cake here, just a bit into that crushed curry, and then down into our Azure Afternoon. So I like that. It's coming along. So that was crumb cake. We're going to go to, let's do just a little bit of Misty Moonlight. Just a little bit of that darker blue in there. So again, I'm unwadding. Wad it back up. And I'm just putting it just a little bit here and there in my water area. So that is that. So I wanted a little more yellow to be happening up at the top. So I'm going to bring in some Daffodil Delight. Again, I'm unwadding my plastic wrap here. Wadding it back up. And I'm going to pounce all over this top of this piece here. Bring in that nice yellow. And then I'm bringing some down into the blue area just a little bit. And that gives us a kind of a greenish blue look where they meet. I love that yellow. It just brightens things right up. So there we have our whole water area, and it's done. It's all done. So again, that was Daffodil Delight. So now let's go ahead, and we're going to stamp our butterfly out. And I'm going to stamp it once on my piece of basic white here. This is just a scrap. This image is just gorgeous. Okay, so I'm just stamping my butterfly. And then I'm also going to stamp it on my cardstock here, where I want my butterfly to be. The reason I'm stamping it on here is I'm going to be cutting this butterfly out. We're going to be popping it up. Well, I didn't want to have to cut the antennas out, so we're going to get our antennas by laying this image over this one and not cutting the antennas out here. So they'll be showing on our cardstock with that stamping. Okay, so that was Memento Tuxedo Black that we stamped those in. Now for coloring our butterfly, I'm going to start with, this is Light Balmy Blue. And I'm going to put some light balmy blue here, just kind of flicking it out towards, from the center out. I'm leaving lots of white there. These are Stampin' Blend markers. So our next color, I'm going to add some purple. So I'm going to use Petunia Pop here. And I'm adding it on the ends of the wings. Kind of flicking it back in towards that blue there. And I'm just doing the top. And then my next color, I'm going to use light as Azure Afternoon. And I'm going to add some of that coming down from that purple into the wings, and then from these down into that balmy blue. You don't have to worry about going outside of this image with your color because we're cutting it out. Okay, so I have all that color in there and I just want to blend it all together a little bit. So I'm taking my balmy blue and I'm just coloring over this image. Now it looks a little dark now, but it's going to lighten up as it dries. And that gives you that nice blended look. So there is our butterfly. I'm going to go ahead and I've got a basic black marker here. This is a dark basic black. And I want the body to be extremely black. So I'm just coloring over the body. Not the antennas, not doing anything with the antennas. So I'm going to take a pair of paper snips here. And I'm going to cut this image out. Try not to cut anything away of the image because we're going to be layering it over the one on our cardstock, and I don't want it to, the image on the cardstock to be sticking out past this image here. So I'm trying not to cut away any of the image, if that makes sense. This is a fairly easy image to cut out. Like I said, we don't have to do anything with those antennas. We're just cutting them off. So there is our beautiful butterfly. Now I'm going to pop this up, and I'm going to use Stampin' Dimensionals for that. And we'll just put 3 dimensionals on here. Here we go. I can always get the backs off really well until I get on camera. Then they want to give me fits. The way of the world. Here we go. We're going to put this on to right over our design there. And I like how that looks, so I'm going to give it a nice press to get it nice and fixed on there. So there is our butterfly. Now we need some bubbles. So this is the Opal Rounds Assorted Pack. It's got these beautiful like dark blues, clear, and then like a gold tone. I'm going to be using these clear ones, and they're just beautiful. You probably can't pick up all the colors that like come to life in those different ones here, but in person you'll see them. So I'm going to use some of these larger ones. I'm just taking my scissors here and putting them on. I'm going to put one on just so it looks like that butterfly might land on it. We'll grab a few of these large ones here. Then I'm going to add some of these small ones too around them. You can use as many as you want. There's quite a few of them. Okay, so I got, oh, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them on here. But you can do less, you can do more, it's entirely up to you. Okay, so now we have them on here, but I want them to really pop on here. So I'm going to take my dark basic black Stampin' Blend marker, and I'm going to use the fine tip. And I'm going to add like a little, I'm going to outline the bottom half of each one. Now I'm putting my marker right up against those little dots there, because I don't want a gap in between them. I want that color to be right up against it. Here's the last one. Now that we have that done, boy, they show up so much better. See how that just brings them to life. So there we have it. There is our bubbling brook. That's what I call it. So now we're ready to start putting our card together, and I'm going to layer this up with a basic black panel. This basic black panel is 3 1/4 by 3 3/4. I'm just going to use some multi-purpose glue here, but you use whatever adhesive you're fond of. Just center it up there. Okay, so we have that part done. Now I have an Azure Afternoon panel. This is 3 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then I ran it through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And I used the Distress Tile 3D embossing folder on this. It's a beautiful folder. I have a gorgeous Grape card base here. It's 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, and then I folded it in half to create my quarter card. So the inside, the Azure Afternoon is 4 by 5 1/4, and the basic white is 3 3/4 by 5. And that gives my 2 panels inside and helps weight that inside of my card. So we're going to put our embossed panel here on the front. And we'll just add a little love there. And I'm going all the way over to the left side with this. There we go. And then I'm just going to give it a rub, so it's nice and stuck down. So there is that panel on there. And now we need to add our butterflies. But I wanted to do one more thing. I wanted to add little corner squares to this. And so I have two gorgeous grape squares that are 1 inch square. Just going to add a little glue, like to the bottom right corner of that square, and then I'm going to just adhere it to my panels there. And then I'm going to do the same with this other one. Add a little glue and add it on. I'm going to give this a look because I kind of want them to look, you know, the same amount as sticking out. I think that looks good. Okay, so now we're ready to put it on our card front. So I'm just going to add glue to these, glue to my main panels, and then we're going to stick it on the front here. There we go. Just going to kind of hold that down. And there is our card front. And I just think this is such a pretty card. And you can use it for about any occasion. There's plenty of room to put a sentiment in, ribbon, whatever you want to dress it up to. I've kind of left mine a simple layout just so that that scene that we created just shines through. So there is our project for today. I hope you enjoyed this project and that you give it a try. Thanks for joining me today. Take care. Toodles.